Oh, hi there. Didn't notice you. Currently I'm stuck inside of the digital world, endlessly repeating this cycle here because of some Chinese communist pneumonia thing that's going around. But that's besides the point. I discovered an amazing computer trick, one that can double your graphics card power, and it's super easy. Let me show you. Alright, as you can see, inside of the typical PC, there are two main computing components of it. The CPU underneath this fan here, and the GPU down there. Now, the GPU usually does all the graphics stuff, but as it turns out, it's completely unnecessary. If you do the math, this CPU here is 3.9 gigahertz with 6 cores, which if we just round that 3.9 to 4, that gives us an effective speed of about 24 gigahertz, because if you multiply the frequency by the number of cores, that's how many things you can do every second. Now this GPU down here is running at 2 gigahertz, and it also has 6 compute units, which are totally the same thing as cores, don't look that up. So it only has half the effective speed, running at effectively 12 gigahertz. But for some reason the computer keeps using the GPU even when the CPU is the far more superior part to use. We could be doubling our speed if we would just bypass the GPU. But in fact, we don't have to bypass it. We can actually combine them into one thing. And it's very simple how you do it. Let me show you. Alright, there's really not much space back here behind the PC, but I'll try to show you what you're supposed to do. You see, this here is the video output. For me, it's a DVI output because I'm using a monitor that's over 10 years old. So if you have a newer monitor, it might be HDMI or a DisplayPort, but either way, it's plugged into the graphics card, which is what we don't want. That means when the graphics card sees that it's plugged into the monitor, it will operate as the primary graphics card computing component, which we want to use both the graphics card and the CPU. So as it turns out, there's actually another port up here. See, both an HDMI and the DVI port right up there. So we want to plug our monitor into that, because those ports there go directly to the CPU, meaning that the CPU is used primarily, and the graphics card is also used as a secondary compute component. So all we have to do is just unscrew these things here. If you have HDMI, it's easier, you just pull this right out. And then we plug it in up here. Make sure it's plugged in the right way. Alright, there we go. Now let's check out the benchmarks. For the benchmarks, I'll be using the game Dirt Rally, since it's the only game I have that I can get to consistently reach 60 FPS, even with all of these enhancements that we just applied. Now, one thing to note is that since this video is only in 30 FPS, I'll be playing all footage at half speed so you can actually see the difference between the frame rates. Wait, I don't remember this happening.
Hello there, old chum. I'm not a gnolf. I'm not a gnoblin. I'm a gnome, and you've been Fingers.
Nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel. You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.